All right, this next video is going to be on subtractive method for textures. One of the things that I want to use is my ribbon tool. If I want to be able to create lines or shapes or whatever the case may be, one of the first things I want to do is be able to use my arm rested or secured to the desk. And I'm going to allow my tool to rub against the surface of my artwork. It helps if it's centered. And as you see, as I'm going around, I can create lines. If I'm off center, it really makes a big difference. So I'm going to center this again so it's on there right. And smooth out the lines that I made. And what I want to do is also the subtractive method of removing some clay using some stamps or stencils. So one thing you can do is be able to create these lines, and the trick is being able to hold your hand really steady. Now I'm going to kind of wipe over the edges that I didn't like and smooth that out a bit. It's not my favorite. In fact, I'm not crazy about it. I'm going to wipe over it and show you another way to do details. If you hold your hand steady and you're not rushing like I was just now, that really does work well. Being able to hold a tool and let the banding wheel roll around to help you make lines all the way around. So I'm going to repair all of what I just did because I really was rushing and just didn't do a good job. All right, but what I do want to show you is another detail. I have different kinds of tools that can puncture the clay. So if I wanted to make a design, let's say I was going for just random circles, I could use my needle tool. And I'm going to poke it and watch how I kind of spin it around a bit to create an opening. What I'm doing is making little areas or designs where light can shine through. So specifically, if I want to put a candle on the inside. Now, I've used just a little tool to make a tiny little hole there. Now, if you want to be able to do bigger holes, I have a lot of different kinds of tools that can do the same thing. I'm going to start with just a needle tool to puncture the area that I'm trying to make a hole for. And then I'm going to open it up a bit by kind of spinning it around. And then I can also poke through with another tool or the end of a paintbrush like I am here. And now look at the size of the hole. Notice that it does leave crumbles. You'll want to go around and smooth out any imperfections. Clay is very forgiving. When I make imperfections, I can almost always fix it. So now look at that beautiful hole there. What I can do if I'm making a lantern is I can make little holes in the, into a design. Let's say I was going for a bunch of straight lines or even making a circle out of circles. Again, I puncture with my needle tool. Spin it around a little bit to open it up. And then I went in with a different tool, just the handle of a paintbrush in this case. And what I'm getting is really consistent size holes. But anytime you puncture your clay, you're going to have clay that sticks out on either end. And you'll want to make sure that you clean that up and smooth it out. And you can also use your metal rib tool for that. Okay, now when you've done this in a design, it looks much, much prettier and definitely gives it a much more finished look. So something to keep in mind is what design would you like to do? And in my next video, I'm going to show you how to do a transfer. What that transfer can do is it's going to give you a way to take a drawing and put it on the side of your clay. And then you'll kind of have an idea, a better idea of your design without actually trying to draw on the surface of your clay. All right, so I'm giving you a nice little startup if you wanted to create punctures. Another thing that I have are some different tools. These are puncture tools. It has a little spring-loaded way to push out clay. So I can also push that into the surface, push it all the way through, and then I push the clay out with this little tool here. Another tool that I have that is really helpful for whenever I'm working with textures on a surface. Sometimes I like to work with just the top rim of a surface area. Sometimes I'm working with the entire side. You can rub against the side of your clay any type of texture, and that texture is going to indent whatever type of texture makes you happy. You can roll that along the side or spin it along the side, and you'll be able to apply interesting textures that can give you really fast, interesting textures without doing a lot of work. And as you can see from the inside here, some of those holes as I create them are gonna want to, make it kind of messy on the inside. I'm just gonna smooth out that clay and then watch what I do. I'm gonna puncture it again. And this time, a little bit less clay is gonna come out. And I can also kind of take those crumbles and wipe them off. So you have to be mindful. As I puncture clay, I'm also going to be removing that clay.